question like yours or your question before, and the answer is basically it's not that easy. An attempt to fight something like that and win and make it permanent takes like a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands, if not 100,000 at least.
I'm pretty sure she has a couple people that are trying to sue her, and obviously it hasn't stopped her because she's still out there slandering everybody. So there's not a whole lot that we could actually do that could really take her down. So
yeah, it's just it's
why
just not
get
that
like
easy.
tangled up in the legality of it all and the cost of it all and the time of it all, when there's, no matter what, even if it's not her, there's gonna be somebody else.
And if if we couldn't do it, like, and I mean, just imagine like her family hasn't done it, and they have teams and people and contract people in these big companies and direct contacts with TLC, and they haven't taken her down. So like
so why try?
Me and McKelty can't do it on ourselves. It's just not that easy. But I appreciate the heart of wishing someone like that
thank
to
you,
not
Becky.
do what they do.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. But yeah, there's so many other YouTube channels. She just is the biggest one. She's the one that kind of has the most slander. But there's so many YouTube channels that spread lies and rumors. So
hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday, April 10th. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Well, recently, Kody Brown Padron has been on her Patreon, and she has decided that this week she's going to take a break, which is probably a good thing. Kody has not been very happy the last several weeks, obviously, and has been spending time consuming media, watching videos connected to her family, which is probably not the healthiest choice for someone going through what she's going through. And she has been upset at the media, tabloids, me, whoever, for reporting on what happened to her brother, Garrison. Now, recently, there's been some buzz on YouTube that Kody Brown is going to sue me. Yes. There's some kind of creator out there that claims that Kody Brown is going to send me a cease and desist, and it's coming this week, and I am going to be sued, apparently, either from Cody or from McKelty or from someone, because apparently TLC is going to put a stop to every single person that has ever reported on the Brown family. This is actually false, but I do know a time that Cody did try to sue someone for calling him a criminal. It was the state of Utah. And in regards to claims that Kody Brown is going to sue me, well, it would appear that that's not the case, because McKelty addressed that again this week and said it's just really not going to happen.
Katie Joy has a tactless manner of discussing other people's extremely personal, intimate details and dishonoring them. And that's just her. She's tactless. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it.
We can unravel this farther, because it's true that I wasn't attracted to you when we got married. I felt pressured into the marriage. I did not know better at the time.
I've only said it a couple times. If you're not happy here, you can leave.
I don't know how to stay here in
You can
Flagstaff.
grow up and do it. You can go, you get married to somebody else, you can bring them here and they can become part of the family. You don't break up the family with what you're trying to do. And if you're a grown-up.
I know this is all exciting for Christine and everything, and I'm happy that she's on her path. But that scene bothers me because she's right there asking for my children to side with her against me. I mean, nobody else sees it. Maybe I'm just delusional. But once again, I got a problem with her kind of setting my kids against me in order to gain favor with her. And McKelty, in order to have favor with Christine, is siding against me on this whole story. I mean, she's joining Christine in the criticism of me because I didn't love her.
I don't really consider myself married to Mary. if she wanted to move on and marry another, she wouldn't get an argument with me.
He's had wives reject him affection-wise because they are uncomfortable or they don't like it.
Call me all kinds of names.
What? That you're lazy about the rules? That you won't accept accountability? There's this urge that I'm seriously fighting. It's like deep in me. It's ugly, sinister, and that's the wolf you want to starve. But that urge to do it, to just be mean as hell, just as gotten in me and it's a fight. I don't want Robin to see this. I don't want her to know how dark I've gotten.
I did not want them separating me and her from each other. So where I go, she's going to go. All of you are just kind of jerks. I don't want to be around you, and I'm tired of it. And I don't want to call them, and I don't want to talk to them.
Man, just the knife in the kidneys over all these years. The sacrifices that I made to love you, wasted. And you are running away rather than being accountable.
Okay, look, I never tried to treat anybody like crap. I never tried. I never did.
And you admitted to it, and you couldn't correct it.
I'll assume that McKelty's been talking to her dad because Kody loves to project things and he loves to switch the narratives and play the victim. So I'll just assume that she's talking to her dad because she has been calling me evil. And if you're not aware, in the Apostolic United Brethren, they tell people that the outsiders like you and I are evil. They tell people that we want to destroy them and take them down. In fact, I found this quote in a book written by Kristen Decker about her dad. Kristen Decker is the daughter of Owen Allred. Owen Allred is the revered prophet that Kody Brown loves. Here's what he tells people about outsiders. And always remember, my loved ones, God's laws are much higher than the laws of the land. Therefore, there is nothing wrong with the little white lies you're required to tell to protect your family and others. We are living God's higher laws and commandments, and there are evil people on the outside who would rather we weren't in the graces of God. They will do anything to thwart our righteous endeavors. They will stop at nothing to destroy us. So I understand that she has been told for her whole life that there's evil people out there that are set out to destroy her family. I will understand that she's also been told this: the last days are upon us. It won't be long before the earth will be destroyed with earthquakes and fires. The wrath of God will fall upon the wicked, yet he will call his people out of darkness and into the light. We are his chosen handful, who, if we continue to obey his commandments, will be saved. This, my children, is why it is so important for you to always be exactly where you say you will be. This is why you must come immediately without question whenever you are called. That's another quote from Owen Allred. McKelty was born and raised in a cult where she was told that if she didn't follow the rules and honor her leaders and do what they wanted, death and destruction would follow. She was told that the earth was going to come to an end soon, and that only she and her family and members of her church were the ones that were chosen by God. And he was only going to take the true church that she was from into the next life with Jesus. So I have a lot of empathy for her because she has been indoctrinated to believe that people like me that are reporting on the family, polygamy, are evil. I think, though, that Kody has been in her ear, and there's also a lot of anti-KJ people in her ear trying to encourage her to sue me. Now, is Kody going to sue me? I don't think so. Kody lost a lawsuit in the state of Utah. Why would he sue me when he couldn't even win against the state of Utah? And at the crux of Kody's lawsuit against Utah, it really had nothing to do with the fact that they were chased out for polygamy. It really had nothing to do with trying to legalize polygamy. It was that Kody was so offended that they called him a criminal. They called him a felon because under the law, polygamy is a felony. It's a felony in every state of the country, and it's a felony under the Constitution. It's a felony. Sex trafficking is a felony. Labor trafficking is a felony. Welfare fraud is a felony. Bankruptcy fraud is a felony. These are all the different crimes that can happen in polygamy and do happen on the regular. So polygamy is also deemed a crime against humanity by the United Nations. It's a crime for a reason because it creates a patriarchal structure where women and children are commodities and women's virtue and purity is bartered and sold to the highest bidder so men can get an increase in heaven. It's a trophy for a man of his greatness and his kingdom, the more wives that he has. Women are not significant outside of their womb and their vehicles for sex. That to me is evil. It is evil to coerce women into a sex cult and then control their finances and take their autonomy away from them. It's evil to financially abuse people and say that all of the money is yours when it's not the women's money. I think it's evil what Kody did to Janelle all of these years, where he's used her as a worker bee and then he took her equity from her in Vegas to buy a house for him and Robin. I think that's evil. I think it's evil what he said about his kids. I think it's evil how he's treated his children. I mean, even in this last tell-all, he got mad at McKelty for taking sides with her mom. He called all of the kids jerks. He didn't want to talk to any of them. That to me is evil. I think it's also evil for someone to shame someone else when it comes to not wanting to have sex with someone and say he's had wives reject him affection-wise. I think it's evil to tell a woman when you're that when she wants to leave you saying, yep, you're right, I was never attracted to you, I felt pressured into marrying you. Or screaming at a woman and saying, I made sacrifices for you and it's a knife in the kidney. Or trying to correct a woman and say that she needs to be loyal if she wants to have a good relationship with you. That to me is evil. So Kody is not going to likely sue me because honestly, everyone talks about sister wives. And for every outlet that's upset with me, there's 100 other creators doing the exact same thing. But I want to share with you a declaration he wrote, because this should tell you why Kody sued the state of Utah. In his declaration, he was trying to argue a summary judgment and a motion to dismiss. He says, we remain a plural family that is treated as a criminal association under the Utah law. While the Utah County has announced a policy change in its criteria for prosecution of our family and other plural families, the prosecutors continue to maintain that they can and will charge individuals under the statute if they allege other criminal acts even as unrelated to plural status of the targeted family, even acts unrelated to the plural status of the targeted family. So he was mad at the state of Utah because they have a law that they can charge someone for committing crimes. Their law says that if someone's in polygamy, they can charge them for crimes like welfare fraud, bankruptcy fraud, sex trafficking, trafficking children into marriages, kidnapping, tax evasion. He was literally suing them because he wanted the state to not charge him with any crimes, meaning he knew he was doing something, right? He says, moreover, the prosecutors continue to maintain that the law is both constitutional and subject to enforcement at any time. That's true. It is unconstitutional to be a polygamist. So I'm not sure why he's arguing this. Finally, Mr. Berman, like the original defendants, has never withdrawn public statements about our family or the insistence that we are engaged in criminal acts. Under the law, Kody Brown was engaged in criminal acts. State and local officials have made numerous statements that our family had other plural families are felons. Under the law, their family were felons. Kody was a felon. It is a felony. Was he charged? No. Even before our television program first aired, we were told that the only reason that we were not prosecuted was lack of space in prisons for plural parents. For example, I attended a meeting at Utah Capitol with Attorney General Mark Shurtleff, where he said he would not prosecute polygamists because of lack of prison beds and room in the foster care system. However, he emphasized that we were all felons. After the start of our television program, these public statements increased, with state officials publicly denouncing my family as committing crimes every night on television. It was a true statement, though. He's committing the crime of polygamy every night on television. He's been doing that for 18 seasons. One official said that our prosecution would be easy in light of the program. It kind of would be. If they wanted to charge Kody, it would be. Other reality stars have been charged with crimes based on their behavior on their television shows. Think of Jen Shaw, think of all the housewives, Todd Chrisley. There's been plenty of people charged, used by the state law as the basis for labeling my family and myself as criminals. We continue to suffer harm as a result of the criminalization of our plural family and the public attacks made against my family with reference to this law. They not only insist that this law is constitutional, but have not retracted a single statement regarding our status as felons under the law. He wanted them to retract statements that were true. In returning to Utah, our children would again face the stigma of those public statements and the continued position of prosecutors that our family is a criminal enterprise. The AUB, in my opinion, is a criminal enterprise. The FLDS is a criminal enterprise. The Davis County Co-op or the Kingstons, in my opinion, are criminal enterprises. They exist for the purpose of trafficking children into labor and women into sex. That's just my opinion. But it's also under the law how it's charged. He wants to blame the state for him breaking the law. We continue to experience harm from statements and the law on both professional and personal bases. Standard contracts related to television shows and cast contain provisions negating any contractual relationship with an individual that is accused of criminal acts. The public declaration of our criminality and the continuation of this law on the books maintains the stigma and criminal classification of our family. We are continuing to have difficulty with promotional and other contracts in light of our declared status as felons. He sued the state of Utah because he couldn't make money promoting his family as criminals in a polygamous family. And I want to be clear, the women are very rarely prosecuted in polygamy because they have zero control and they are under a lot of authority by the man and they have no rights because the men control everything. So in truth, if they were going to be charged, unless the women were committing crimes like bankruptcy fraud, welfare fraud, or child abuse, they're not likely to get charged. And that's why Utah changed the law. They didn't decriminalize it for the sake of not holding the men accountable. They decriminalized it so that a woman that's being abused can come forward and won't face a felony to report abuse. If a woman comes forward now and she's a plural wife, she will not be charged with a felony if her husband is abusing her, or if he's taking underage brides, or if he's trafficking children. But if a man is doing those things, under the new law in Utah, he can still be charged with a felony. Kody sued because he wanted to profit off of being a polygamist. He wanted to profit off of promoting a criminal lifestyle. He wanted to profit off of the promotion of a white supremacist cult that is anti-government, that believes that white people need to take over the world, that believes that all people of color are cursed, that believes that only straight people should exist, that you shouldn't have to abide by the laws of this land, that you can abide by God's law, and you're not actually held to the laws of this land. It's a cult that has a militia, or a known militia in the past that was preparing to fight against the government. And someone in one of my videos said militias are legal. They are not. State militias are legal under the Constitution, which is part of the Second Amendment. Illegal paramilitary organizations like what the AUB had are illegal. It is illegal for any private group to serve in a military capacity or in law enforcement roles outside of state authority. So if they're patrolling their property with guns, that's actually illegal. If they are going to blow up the roads so that they can save the world from the federal government, that's illegal. It is not legal to have a paramilitary organization. And the AUB had one. They might still have one. I don't know. They can't determine if it still exists. Kody lost this lawsuit, by the way. When his lawyer went to go get attorney's fee, by the way, he asked for attorney's fees in this case because he did this work pro bono. And when they lost the lawsuit, that attorney had to eat over $240,000. So not only did Kody Brown sue the state of Utah, but he got a lawyer to do all the work for him for free. And that lawyer was out over $240,000. Kody wouldn't even pay for a lawsuit on his own. He's not going to pay to sue the tabloids, the media, or me. Everything's out there for the taking. They put out all of this out there. They have been a public family for 18 years. What has happened to their son, Garrison, is horrific. It is not at all dishonoring of his memory to say that he didn't deserve what happened to him, so that people that have followed this family can know the truth and not just the watered down version that is going to be lied to by the network and by the family likely. They chose to be public and they don't get to choose to be private when they're not public. And on top of that, they're going to film this for the show. So they're going to profit off of it, which again, how do you ask for privacy if you're going to publicly put it out there and have it on Patreon? My hope is that Mykelti can find some time for herself and get some therapy and take care of herself. My hope for the Browns, they can all get into therapy. My hope is that this conversation can help other people understand the damaging, lasting impacts of narcissistic abuse and cults like polygamy. And I hope that this is a wake-up call for viewers about what you're consuming when you're watching shows that are promoting dangerous cults and narcissistic abusers. That's what I hope. And I hope that's not evil. So is Kody Brown going to sue me? Nope. And Mykelti even confirmed that. So tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click on the bell so you never miss a video. Bye, guys.